their demand is driven down low enough where this is the price of the brand monopoly. But at that price right there, P times Q is equal to AC times Q. Or revenue, total revenue, is equal to total cost. People drive their demand down enough that it's a logical entry. No. Do I think that this gets reached a lot of the time? No, it often doesn't. Because the firm fights back. Coca-Cola's been making sugar water and diet sugar water for a century now. And most of the time they've had a profit. And so they have not reached the long run. Because when other firms do try to enter. Other firms try to enter, other firms try to make sugar water. Generics, they try to sort of take enough Coke's demand to drive the price down. Coke markets, Coke advertises, Coke sort of makes sure that you think Coke is better and will pay more for Coke. Both here, and they do it even better overseas. Pepsi does just as well here. Coke does much better overseas with their brand. And so they don't reach the long run. There's a movement toward the long run, which then brands fight. There's a movement toward it, meaning firms enter. I mean, if you're a fashion designer who's making sort of these, whatever, dresses or suits that are going for high prices, there's lots of attempts to enter and try to get that niche. You desperately try to get famous people or actors to sort of wear your clothing at big events, and you try to sort of have this catch on. Because then all the people who can afford that stuff will move to your brand more than the other one. There's a constant fight, which is different than monopoly. There's not the constant entry. Here you have to keep fighting for your brand. And how do I say fight? It's sort of spending bits of money here and there to try to make sure your demand stays the same or even gets higher. Arguably, this term you hear in marketing, strengthening your brand, is in part sort of making your demand a little more inelastic. Strengthening your demand means that people are going to pay not just 30 cents more than the generic for your brand, they'll pay $1.20 more. Not just $12 more, $25 more. That's a stronger brand. But the way it's not stable in the sense of monopoly is that there's a constant fight to reduce it.
Why does average cost eventually equal the price of the brand name? Why?
This is, I didn't put an average cost there, but basically sort of, this is what you end up with. Like beforehand, this demand would have been like a little higher up here, and the marginal revenue would have been here beforehand. And so beforehand, this firm would have had a price up here, and they would have been making a profit. And essentially, other firms will enter and keep driving your demand down until you reach this point of zero profits. Now, I just sort of drew this. To draw that, what I basically did was I picked a firm like this with some marginal cost. I figured out what the price, and by definition, at that point, this P times Q is the revenue. And so I knew that then if zero profits means that AC must cross at that point, the AC. And so I just purposely put it right there, because that defines zero profits. And theoretically, other firms will keep trying to enter as long as that price is above the competitor.